I built this 53 Corvette and I learned a new skill. Interested? Stay tuned. Hello YouTubians and fellow hobbyists! Welcome to this little show, which is not like every Sunday now as you figured. It's more like when it comes. Alright, so I finished my 53 vet and I also learned something about learning. But first things first, here's some pictures from the build. The body had some little imperfections, but an easy fix with a bit of putty and some sandpaper. Changing too much of the original design would be a shame, but the hood seemed a little bit too empty, so let's build a hood scoop. First, a stencil out of paper until I'm happy with the shape. Next, build it with styrene. I lowered the chassis also about 4 millimeters. The openings for the new exhaust were drilled out. Before we continue with the interior, I have to tell you a little story. How I learned an important lesson about learning. And it starts with my inability to paintbrush parts. No matter what I did, I always had like strokes when I painted, and it just looked terrible. So I wrote once in the comments of Big Brother Charlie Mack's videos, and I said, well, I just it's crazy how good you get that, how smooth you get your paint jobs. I always have strokes in him. He wrote back like, dude, you have to thin your paint and do multiple layers, right? So I thought, well, I'll try that. So I thinned the paint, did 3 or 4 layers, and I was not happy with it because it was cloudy, you know, it had like brighter and darker spots. It just was not happy. So I thought, well, I just don't have what it needs and I'll leave it alone. Until I watched another video from Charlie and he mentioned, well, on this car I needed 8 freaking coats until it finally was smooth. I thought, well, maybe I just have to give it another try. So in this build I told myself I will try it and put as many coats on it as it needs until maybe the clouds will disappear. That was my hope. And it worked. It worked. I'm happy with the way it turned out. And so what I learned from that whole thing is to hear something and to understand something. It's 2 different things. You really have to understand something, you have to get your hands dirty, try it and try it again and again until you finally have it right. And then you have that skill probably the rest of your life. So that's what I did. That's what I learned. You know, always try it until it really works. So in this build, I brush paint the complete interior. First I put on some masking fluid, that's the blue stuff that you see here, and then I painted 7 coats of red. Also 2 different shades of gray followed, and I really like the way it turned out. I also brush painted the dashboard and added some UV resin on top of the gauges. The engine received some love as well. And here we have it, the finished build. Alright, that's all for now. Well, my next build will be a little bit more ambitious, a little bit more complex. I will try to build a speed racer from the last century. You know, like when they, like 1930s, 1940s, something like this, when they put like big airplane engines in and just try to have speed records, something like this. I will start with scratch building the engine, and then I will build the body and the chassis from scratch as well. So, and with a little bit of luck, it's not just a blob of styrene, but it looks like something. We will see. I keep you posted. So you guys stay safe. Keep on building those awesome models. See you then. Bye y'all.